This episode is not sponsored, but we encourage you to help support the small businesses, charities, and organisations that we mention.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Our Circle. I'm Rhiannon.
And I'm Jess.
And I apologise for my voice today. I was at a gig for the first time in 2 years last night, so I'm a little bit worse for wear right now, but we're making it through. Today's episode is actually going to be us answering questions from guys. So I don't know if anyone's seen a trend on YouTube, TikTok. I think everywhere's doing it. And I thought, why not put it into a podcast? And it's literally where guys are asking girls questions that maybe they've always wanted to know, ones that guys have maybe been a bit embarrassed to ask or haven't had anyone that they could ask. So it's just answering those. So we thought, why not give it a try too? So we asked you on our Instagram and we asked a couple of our friends for some questions for us to answer. So I haven't told Jess really any of them. Some of them, they're a little bit out there, which is fun. And I think that's the whole purpose. I don't really want to skip any of them because I feel like, you know, someone's curious. We're an open book. So welcome to our circle. Okay, let's jump into this. Is being under 6 foot really that bad? So I think they're meaning, is it unattractive? I guess that's what I'm taking it as. Like, okay. For me personally, as a preference, I like tall guys and tall women. I just like to feel like petite. But I don't think that that's the answer for everyone. I think, you know, there's nothing wrong with being under 6 foot. Just for me personally, I just like for someone to be taller than me. But
yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely personal preference. Like if you're someone maybe who wears heels more often, I don't know if that's like a big thing for like heel wearers. I'm not one of those people. I think as long as someone's just a bit taller than me,
right,
that's for me again a personal preference, but I don't see that being a deal breaker really. Like if someone ticks all the boxes and is like a lovely person who's super caring and, you know, you're super attracted to, I don't see why that one factor of being under 6 foot would really make that big a difference to me.
I don't think it's I mean, I don't have the stats here, but I'm pretty sure more women wouldn't care than do.
Yeah, we'd hope so.
Yeah. But I also think for any guys who are under 6 foot and they're being rejected or whatever by women because of their height, they are not the women for you then, you know, like you don't want someone who's
exactly
hard.
Yeah,
so obviously I'm sorry if that is happening to you, but at the same time that's not your person. So
dodged a bullet there.
Yeah. Is a guy expected to pay on the first date? I always find this very interesting because everyone I've ever watched responds differently. So what's your opinion?
I think I'm very much of the opinion if someone has invited, if I'm speaking from a heterosexual point of view, if a man has invited me out on a date, they've invited me, I think they should pay. But I would probably still go through the motion of like, oh no, like
reaching for the
let's split it. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't think I'd like to expect it. But in my head, I think I would be very surprised if they didn't pay.
Okay.
But I think then going forward, if you were to have further dates, like for example, from my experience with Joe, we alternated. So the next one I paid for, you know?
Right. Yeah.
What about you?
This probably sounds a little bit like, I don't know if the word's really skeptical or what, but I just don't think I'm comfortable with someone paying just because I would feel like they think I owe them something. Does that make sense? Like, like I don't want a guy or anyone to pay for me and then think, well, I paid, so spread the legs. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, in that way. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just sort of like, no, I'm fine with paying. But I think I also agree though, in the sense of if they've invited you out for the date, then it would kind of make sense for them to offer. They don't have to. I don't expect it. I would always bring like my card with me anyway.
Yeah.
But I agree with that. But I've also heard so many people say women have to go through so fucking much. The least that a guy can do is pay. Like they should pay all the time sort of thing. And I'm like,
I don't know. It's a weird one, isn't it? I feel like some people are really offended by it and some people it can go either way, and I feel like there are quite a few strong opinions on it.
Yeah, there are.
In both ways. So like some people are really offended, like, why, what, you think I can't pay for myself and blah blah blah. Whereas some people are like, well, like what I said, you know, if you've invited me out, you're paying for my time, like you can pay for my meal. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I don't think I feel that strongly, but I feel like it's just kind of,
I don't think I feel that strongly. I just think I know what I feel comfortable with, and I suppose it'd be based on the vibe. Like if I was getting some sort of vibe that they were just trying to wine and dine me for something else, like I'd be a bit like, it's okay, I'll pay, thanks, like for myself, like,
right,
that sort of thing. But again, I think that would pretty much set the tone of what's going forward with that date, I guess. So I guess it's dependent on the person, but overall, no, I don't think that I expect a guy to pay on the first date.
Everyone has different views on it. It's
yeah,
not like
I think although I do feel the people who expect a guy to pay on the first date because they're like, yeah, you're the guy, I'm a bit like, okay, grow up, like get with the time sort of things. Like that's because they're going based on like tradition. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I do get it.
What does having a period feel like?
Painful. Draining. I was literally thinking about this earlier because since having Mila, my periods have changed, and I get them like every 3 weeks now, rather than, I was like clockwork every 4 weeks, and now I get them every 3 weeks. It's actually a bit harder to track, not that I really track anyway, I'm a bit crap with that, but it takes up so much of the month. I feel like, because it's not just the period itself, you get all these symptoms, don't you?
Oh my god, yeah. The other day I was explaining this to my brother, because I'm very open anyway about talking about periods with my family and stuff, but I think I was just like, oh, I'm so fed up. And he was like, what's wrong? I was like, no, just period. He goes, I thought you finished it. I went, yes, I finished my period, but I haven't finished the hormonal part that comes after. He goes, what do you mean? I said, a period is literally not a week. It is 3 weeks and then a 1 week rest, if that. It's, you have the build up beforehand and you're like mentally going crazy. And then you have your period and you're just in physical pain. And then after, it's like the come down PTSD of it all.
Yeah.
It's so I feel like for anyone who's not aware of periods and how they like operate, it's very much a hormonal experience throughout your whole body and mentality, and it's not just the act of bleeding, if that makes sense. Sorry if this is TMI for people, but I mean, you've tuned in. But I think as far as actually not just the mental side of things, as far as like saying what do they feel like, it's kind of a weird sort of thing to explain, because I guess if you're a guy and you don't have a vagina, you're not going to know what something coming out of that feels like. But
it's like cramping in your stomach, and I mean, everyone's different again.
True,
like I hate to answer every question with like, everyone's different, but from personal experience, it's like this real cramping in your stomach. It's different depending on what day you are in your period as well. I find personally the first couple of days the most painful, and then calm down a bit, and then there's not as much blood, but it's not a pleasant experience at all.
It's also something that you don't, if I can try and help a guy understand, when you go to pee, you have control of that, whereas with a period you don't get any control of when it comes out of you. It's just non-consensually just leaving your body. And you don't get to control that. You only get to manage it, obviously, with whatever period products that you use to help that. It's kind of funny. I was trying to, because I'd seen this question, this was one of the first questions I'd seen, and I'd been thinking about it, and I was thinking, I've had a period more in my life than I've not now. I was so for anyone who didn't know, I was 11 when I first got my period, and I was with Jess and our friend Sophie, and we were dancing in the finale of a talent show in primary school
to Lady Marmalade.
That was when I got my period, and I just remember feeling I remember feeling weird, and I knew it wasn't to do with nerves with the talent show. Like my body felt strange. I felt like it felt like something was draining from like my head to my toes almost, but I didn't understand the feeling. And then you get real fucking accustomed to it, and it's just like, oh. It's just a weird feeling that you can't control. It doesn't feel like you're peeing, for anyone who's thought that might be what it's like. Obviously, I know I use that as an example of like being able to stop and start, but that's literally because you can't do that. And like Jess said, it's more often than not you'll have cramps, which just, it doesn't feel like, for anyone who's had like leg cramps or arm cramps, whatever, it's not like that. It's stomach pain, but in your sides, because obviously that's where your ovaries are releasing the eggs and your uterus is contracting and everything. It's just so strange. And also for anyone as well, women who might be listening, and I'm sure a lot can relate, because your stomach is cramping so much to release the blood, it makes other parts of your body tense, so you often need to poop too. So it's like the period poops and everything. It's just a lot leaving your body without really having much control.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Why do girls go to the bathroom in pairs with their bags?
Probably to talk about you.
I think honestly it's a comfort thing. Like,
yeah, it's fun. You're getting ready with your friend, like you might be topping up your makeup. It's just nice to have company, like, I don't know, safety. I don't know,
I was going to
depends
say
where
it's
you
more
are.
safety to me. Like, I don't need to go to the bathroom with anyone, but I think if I go to a restaurant or a bar or a club with friends and we haven't maybe been there before, I'm not letting them go to a bathroom by themselves. Like, it's almost like second nature to like protect yourself and your friends in moments like that. As a woman, you're sort of taught to go in pairs or go in groups to a lot of things, so it's definitely like a safety thing, but then it almost comes like a habit, like a ritual sort of thing of, okay, going to toilet, okay, cool, that means I can go and top up my makeup, that means I can just go and, like, you know, whatever. I don't know, it's just a comfort thing, I think.
Yeah, and if I don't go with someone, I'll probably befriend someone in the toilets. and they'll become like a good friend for those 5 minutes that you start talking. And
the amount of dresses I've had to help zip back up, lend out like tampons, or, you know, give someone a hug who's been crying, like in clubs, stuff like that. Or if someone's like, I just need a breather or something, like they're not having a good night, you're like, I'm just gonna stay here with you, that's fine, we'll just talk for a bit, sort of thing. It is funny. It's a real bonding experience, actually.
It is. I actually really enjoy it.
Do boobs mess up your balance?
I don't feel like mine are big enough to really do that. Like, I don't think I'm not flat chested, but I don't think I've ever felt off balance because of them. Maybe I'm used to it, I don't know.
I'd say yes.
You've had a lot of back problems though, haven't you?
Yeah, my back, I don't think my back problems are due to boobs, but for example, like working out, I can't do what are they called, like press ups and push ups properly, because I literally feel like my boobs are weighing me down. And if I try, like I feel like that kind of element of balance. And like with yoga, I definitely think there's some sort of balance thing there, unless if I'm like completely like strapped up as much as possible with sports bras and things like that. But if I'm like free flowing.
Question, do you wear more than one bra when you go to the gym?
I currently don't, but well, because I don't go to the gym. No, I've always had the Shockwave sport bras. They're like the ultimate tier of support, but I'm not opposed to it. It's just honestly with sports bras, because they're designed to literally hold everything in place. If you've got good ones, they're often tight, and at the moment with all of the back problems and rib problems I've had, I don't particularly enjoy having tight things around me, just because I'm fearful that, I don't know, something happens. I'd say that some boobs can mess up balance, not for everyone, but I think if you're clumsy as well like me, it doesn't help your case.
I remember a question that I've been asked before by someone. Do boobs float in the bath?
Oh yes. Yes, they do.
So if anyone's curious and they're listening out there,
because whenever I've gone swimming, like I feel my boobs like almost trying to get under my armpit, sort of thing. Like if I'm on my front, and if I'm on my back, they're the first things to like float up. And if like that's just because I'm breathing in, like to stay afloat, but yeah. Why do women steal their boyfriend's clothes?
I love wearing oversized things, and it just makes me feel like I'm so comfortable. I've got so many of Joe's jumpers now.
Men's clothes are way more comfortable, like as in
Yeah.
softer. I don't really understand why. Like, I don't understand why you get soft clothes and we don't.
Yeah, I think it's just comfort. I think I'd wear his stuff out as well, not even just at home. I think it's the oversized thing as well. I think that's been more on trend, hasn't it, in the past few years as well, isn't it? Like boyfriend clothes or whatever.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
kind of
definitely.
fit.
I think it's that, and probably if your girlfriend is stealing your clothes, it's probably like a comfort thing to her, not just like as in, oh, it's soft. It's probably like, oh, this is my partner's clothes, or it like might smell like you or something, and they might find it comforting, you know. So
Yeah.
I think that's mostly what it is. I don't think there's really much more to that.
No.
What character traits do girls truly look for in guys? Being nice always ends with befriending. Oh,
I don't think that's true in some cases. I think you should always be nice and be yourself. I don't think you should start being a, bad boy in order to like try and attract someone.
But actually, do you know what I might add to that though is say if you're a guy and your intentions with a girl is you want something more with them,
Yeah.
kind of don't put yourself in the friend zone then. Like, definitely
Put yourself out there and make your intentions clear.
Yeah, be clear that you're interested in them like that. If they then shoot you down for that, obviously sorry, but like at least then you've shot your shoot. What am I saying? Like you've
shot your shot.
Yeah. you've made your intentions clear. They didn't match. That's it. There's nothing more to it. And if you want to remain friends with them, great. But otherwise, if your plan is to like, oh, I'm going to be her friend first, just to then eventually end up with them, I think that will backfire in your face. I've got a friend who's kind of had this experience where someone she thought was her friend, turns out his whole intentions the entire time was to eventually like get with her, and she had no desire for that. She did not want that, and it made her really upset and angry because she was like, so this friendship actually wasn't based on friendship at all. He had a
ulterior motive.
That's the one. Yeah. And you kind of feel almost used even though you haven't been used, if that makes sense. Like your friendship and a lot of the times if you are a friend to a woman, they will want to be vulnerable with you, they will want to share things, and for that to have just been used in the hopes that you're going to get with them is breaking trust, in my opinion anyway. So
yeah, I can see why it'd be taken like that, definitely. Yeah.
I'm all for people becoming a couple after being friends, but I don't think you should become friends with someone with the purpose to then get with them. So I think my advice would be make your intentions clear, but continue to be a nice person.
Definitely, I agree.
Dad bod or gym bod?
I know your answer. I think we've spoken about this before in our episode with Giorgio.
Right.
I like the idea of someone looking after themselves. That to me is important because you want a person that you care about to be around for as long as possible. But I'm not perfect. I've not got a gym bod, but I still look after myself physically, and I've got a mum bod. There's really not anything wrong with that. As long as you're nourishing your body and you're caring for it. I don't really, obviously on first attraction, you're gonna, you think in your head like this, I'd like this sort of Adonis carved, chiseled body. That would be amazing, like obviously. But when it comes to an actual relationship with someone, that doesn't have to be top of my list, to be honest with you.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't think either is wrong. I just prefer a guy who is in shape. I don't think there's anything wrong with either. And also, I think like gym bod's quite vague because you have so many different types of gym bodies. Do you know what I mean? Like you might have someone who's very, very lean, and like I'd probably prefer a dad bod over someone who's really like lean. But and I say lean, I mean like someone who's like really skinny and whereas I do like someone who's hunky and muscly and stuff. Like it's just a preference of mine, but I don't think either's wrong. What names do women not like being called by men? For example, bird, love, ladies, etc. I'll tell you which one I hate or which ones I don't like. The one that I don't like, and I think a lot of women, at least our age, do not like being called, is young lady. I think it's so condescending. And I've had a lot of older men say that to me, and I think it's disgusting. And the amount of people I've seen online who feel the exact same way, I just think it's so wrong to ever say that to someone. But then you'll have like the 60-year-old woman who like, oh, I'd love to be called young lady. I'm like, shut up, your time's been. Like, it really annoys me when women do that.
I can't say maybe I just don't get out enough, but I don't feel like I get called much when I'm out. Do you know what I mean? Like, just don't talk to me. But
it's not, I don't think
no.
it's like about being out though. It's like, what names do you not like guys calling you? Like, what names would you not want Joe calling you, for example? Like, I know you like it, but I don't like babes.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. I was going to ask you what you meant by the young lady thing. So is it kind of the implication that because they're older than you, they're looking at you based on your age, or like what?
Yeah, they're like looking at you like a child, so they'll use it. And especially in the workforce, I think it's so wrong to speak to someone like that. I think it's so condescending. You don't need to call them a young lady. It's like used in a derogatory way.
Right, okay.
I just don't like it at all. I don't like it if family friends use it. I'll literally give them like such a gross look at them. So it's just weird to me. It really grosses me out. And I don't like it at all. I just don't think any man should speak to someone like that. So if any men going around saying young lady to women, stop that shit right now.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've ever really been called bird or anything like that. Like, I'm not sure. I don't think I've been in situations enough. Like, maybe if I was in a certain situation and it happened, I'd be like, ew, gross. But I haven't really thought about it. It's different, I think, if Joe's calling me babes or something. But if someone I don't really know is calling me babes, I'd be a bit like, that's a bit over familiar.
What about like as a partner then? Are there not any names that you're like, what you're doing, Joe? Like, some women don't like being called hun, or some women don't like being called darling. Like, there's certain pet names they don't like.
No, there's nothing that's cropped up actually. No, I don't have any pet names that Joe calls me that I don't like, and or that have come up yet. He might be yet to come out with one. I'll be like, whoa, we're not calling you that again. But yeah, no.
What is an acceptable amount of time for sex to last? I say if you've got the job done, then it doesn't matter. Like,
that is so true. It's the destination, isn't it, really? I mean, obviously you want it to be longer than like 60 seconds, do you know what I mean? But also for me, depends how much time we've got. Do you know what I mean? If we're trying to be if we're wanting to be efficient and we're, you know, and you can get the job done, like you said, in that time, like, fine, give me a few minutes and we're good. Like, I really don't mind. But if you're in a situation where the mood is that you've got a bit of time, you're taking it slow, you want to enjoy each other, then yeah, you want to build up, don't you? You want to work it up. I don't know. What do you think?
I literally think if you're getting the job done, great, but as long as it's not a race, as in, like you said, if you've got somewhere to be, then utilize your time correctly.
Yeah.
Like, get this done, get your shit together and help. But if you're not on a time crunch, let's keep this going. Why are we rushing? Like, let's just enjoy this. So an acceptable amount of time, I mean, if you've got a whole day, like, use your whole day. Like, stop for some like hydration breaks, but I really think
we don't want to give like these crazy high expectations by the way of like, you need to last a whole day.
And, oh my god, and I don't mean that as well, like last the whole day, absolutely not. Like, I'm just saying reboot time, you know, like,
yeah, exactly,
but I also think if you're both reaching that finishing time together, or, you know, one of you's maybe finished before, you don't have to feel really like embarrassed or upset by it, as long as you're then reciprocating to make sure that both of you have got what you wanted out of your session. Then
100%.
I think people put too much, I think especially women, because not all women come as well, like not all women will orgasm, and they can't maybe do it like through penetrative sex and stuff like that. So if you're a guy stressing out over not being able to make your girlfriend come and stuff like that, well, I just think communicate, 100%. Ask what she likes, see, you know, maybe experiment a little, see what you're comfortable with, find out what the boundaries are and go from there. And if you're a girl, don't put that pressure on yourself. If you can't, it's okay. Just make sure that you're comfortable and saying what you're needing, basically.
Yeah.
Communicate. When girls comment on each other's photos with the heart emoji, no, not the heart emoji, the flame emoji, do they actually love every photo, or is it just to support each other?
I love that. I think it's definitely a support thing. But I also feel like I don't want anyone to, now I don't want my friends to overthink if I don't comment on their picture. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not that I feel like I have to. I personally don't comment on every single photo, even though I might really like it.
Yeah.
It's just dependent. I don't know what it's dependent on, but I think it's definitely a support thing. But also, I personally don't like and comment stuff if I don't like a photo. So
I was about to say, for me, it's not like I don't do it just to support. I do it because I want to. Like, I won't like a photo if I don't like it. I won't comment on something if I can't be bothered to. So for me, it's more literal. If you see that I've commented a flame emoji or any type of emoji, I mean it. Like, I'm not doing it for the fun of it. I'm like, no, I love this, or you sort of thing. And it just happens to be genuine support. I'm not gonna comment something with a flame just to support someone. Like, it would be authentic support, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
I would say the same for most women, surely, but then again, maybe not. Maybe some women
I don't know. I feel like some might have ulterior motives, or like, I don't know, maybe I'm just being skeptical, but maybe some women might talk about someone behind someone's back and then
I see what you're saying. Yeah, well,
I don't know.
We can't know because we don't do that.
No, exactly. I think that's me being very skeptical, but
that makes sense. I suppose it, so I guess that does exist or happen. Oh, also one that I keep seeing that's popular is like, does body count matter?
Not for me.
No, I don't think so at all. I think anyone who's bothered by body counts, it usually comes from like a place of insecurity, and I don't mean that in like 100%. A way to be like, oh, you're insecure. I don't mean it like that. I just mean they're just not comfortable with, for whatever reason. It might be that they don't like that someone has a higher one than them, or they just feel inexperienced or stuff like that. But personally, I prefer if they've got a higher body count. It doesn't matter
more
really
experience.
To me. Yeah, like I want to know that you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter at all to me. But again, I think that's subjective. Like,
I'm not gonna. Do you know what? I'm gonna be completely transparent here. It used to bother me.
Did it?
When I was younger, because, like you said, it was an insecurity thing. It was like, I'm going to be compared to all these other girls. So once I got over that, then it didn't really matter to me anymore. And I like the way that you view it, in like, hang on, this person's got all this experience that they can now use on me. Great. Like, do you know what I mean? And when you start thinking about it as in those relationships didn't work out, or whatever it was, situationships didn't work out.
Yeah.
But they must have gained something from something, hopefully. Then when you start framing it in a different way, then it shouldn't matter at all, because that person is there in that moment with you now.
I also think that body counts are not, what's the word? You don't owe them to anyone. Like, you don't have to share a body count with anyone, I don't think.
Yeah. But I also just don't get it. It's like, it's not like your body has been used, and so now there's like a tally against your body. Like, what's that about? It's not like that stays in, nothing stays with you.
Yeah.
It's happened. It's an experience. It's happened. You could have been having fun with yourself.
Yeah.
Using something like, it's, I don't know. For me, it's a bit bizarre.
I just think if I was to, I don't know, be on a date with someone or in a relationship with someone, I can't imagine ever asking them that. I don't care. I think the only thing I would care about is say if they had slept with people that might come into our life a lot. So say like they'd like slept with friends and stuff like that. Not that would bother me, because that would have happened before me, but just maybe a little heads up so that I don't maybe put myself in a situation where something could come out that catches me off guard that I didn't know about, maybe.
Yeah.
Like say like you're dating someone, they're like, oh yeah, I used to sleep with them all the time, sort of thing, and be like, oh, okay, I would have maybe liked to have known that. Not that I can imagine people thinking that that's normal to do, like as in just to come out and say that to partners, but you know what I mean, just I wouldn't want to be caught off guard or go into a situation without necessarily knowing things.
But
otherwise, I don't want to know. I don't care. Like, it's your past, and I don't really feel like you need to know mine either.
So completely agree.
I think this is the last one. If you don't like your friend's other half, do you tell them or go along with what your friend has chosen? What your
Tell
friend
them.
has chosen? I think they meant who.
Tell them. I think there's ways of going about it. I think if I am getting a lot of red flags from my friend's partner, I don't think I wouldn't be able to say anything. Like, I would very subtly ask them and make sure that they know that I'm coming from a place of love and care. Are you happy? Are you okay with this? Because I don't like the way they're treating you. Like, I don't think I've seen you happier, or like, I think you could be more happy.
But I
I don't
suppose it
know.
depends on the situation as well. If it's literally like the person's doing nothing wrong to your friend, you just don't like them, then
Right.
what?
No, then it would be, yeah, I think you're right. In that situation, I don't think there's a lot you can do. I think I would just maybe avoid getting into situations where they're there as much.
Right.
I've definitely got a friend I can think of right now whose boyfriend I don't like, but I don't really need to see them very much, so it doesn't really bother me that much.
Yeah.
They seem to be happy from our conversations. There's not a lot else I can do other than be there for my friend, and if that's who they've chosen to be with, then that's fine. But if that person was to do something to hurt my friend, I would definitely be a bit more vocal.
Yeah, I think for me it's the levels, maybe, if that's the right word, like of the situation. So like you said, if someone's in danger of being hurt, things like that, then absolutely I'd speak up. But then I think for the majority of the time, unless they ask me what I think, I'm not going to really say, because it's not my life, it's not my relationship. I think
Yeah.
if it's going to work, they'll make it work, and if it doesn't, then I'll be there to support them when it doesn't. So I think if I do not like one of my friends' partners, I think like you, I just don't need to be around them. I'm not in a situation, I don't think, where any of my friends' partners, I don't feel like I can't be near. Majority of my friends, all of their partners, I'm fine with being around. I can't think from the top of my head if there's anyone that I'm like, oh God, I'm dreading seeing them. So, I'm not in situations like that. But I think if I was like you, I would remove myself from the situation, and then if the friend wanted to know why that is, I can be like, well, just doesn't align with me on what I like for you, but if you're happy, you're happy. So I think that's where I am with that. Well, that was interesting answering those.
I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah, if anyone's listening and they want to send in more questions, they want us to do another episode like that, please send them in, DM us, and we'll be interested to hear what more questions you have for us. Sort of sticking on the theme of educating ourselves about women, today's dedication is going to go to the Bloody Good Period, which is a charity organization, and they are on Instagram at Bloody Good Period. They have menstrual products for refugees, asylum seekers, and those who can't afford them, but they also have a lot of education on women's periods and different facts like that, so you can definitely get yourself some education about the wonderful experience of the menstrual cycle. So if you could go and follow them, the details are in the description and on screen now, and it'd be great if you give them a follow and get involved in any way you can and support them. That would be fab. We're also going to try and make sure that these dedications, they're going towards charities, small businesses and organizations, but they're also going to be about accounts that you can follow, just because there's so much education out there now. So we think that it's important to raise those accounts and help more following to them. So
definitely
keep an eye out for that. But thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you for our next episode. Please make sure to like and subscribe and follow us on all of our socials, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.